Welcome to Cameron United Methodist Church Zoom Worship, July 26, 2020. R&B, Freedom from Busy-ness. Following is a reading from the Ancient Wisdom and the homily offered by Reverend Dr. Valerie L. Jackson. For details of Cameron Worship, please visit our webpage at www.cameronchurch.org.
Slow down, you move too fast. You got to make the morning last.
Our ancient wisdom this morning comes from the book of Genesis, chapter 11. Now the whole world had one language and a common speech. As people moved eastward, they found a plain in Shinar and settled there. They said to each other, "Come, let's make bricks and bake them thoroughly." They used brick instead of stone and tar for mortar. Then they said, "Come, let us build ourselves a city with a tower that reaches to the heavens so that we may make a name for ourselves. Otherwise, we will be scattered over the face of the whole earth." But God came down to see the city and the tower that the people were building. God said, "If as one people speaking the same language they have begun to do this, then nothing they plan to do will be impossible for them. Come, let us go down and confuse their language so they will not understand each other." So God scattered them from there all over the earth, and they stopped building the city. That is why it was called Babel, because there God confused the language of the whole world. From there, God scattered them over the face of the whole earth.
Good morning, Cameron. Good morning to all who are visiting with us today. I am Reverend Dr. Valerie L. Jackson, better known as Pastor Jackson or PJ, and it is my sincere privilege and pleasure to be the lead pastor of the Cameron community. Thank you to all of you for being here today. Today we're talking about R&B. Freedom from busyness, R&B, freedom from busyness. The notorious story of the Tower of Babel begins with homogeneity or sameness. The suggestion here is that the writer of this ancient wisdom wants us to consider the possibility that at one time all human beings were of the same culture, of the same language, and even centralized in the same geographical location. But the story ends with difference and diversity, all human beings having different cultures, different languages, and scattered in different geographical locations. Reverend Curtin and Reverend Seifert, I don't know about you, but this story has always baffled me. I have often wanted to preach from this text. I have wanted to be inspired by this text, but I just didn't know what to say. With this story, I was conflicted and confounded. As a young person, I just could not understand why the God of this story would interrupt what appeared to be unity and replace it with disunity and separation. I could not understand why the God of this story would disrupt ambition and success and replace it with impossibility. And why would God impose geographical distancing in what appeared to be community? I asked for years, what does this mean? What can we take from this? Well, now after 4 months of sheltering in place, I'm daring to be inspired by this text, and I'm daring to raise these questions. Could it be that the writer of this ancient wisdom was making value statements about a preferred humanity and a preferred human condition? Could it be that the writer of this wisdom was ranking difference over and above sameness? Is this writer exposing a radical truth that sameness is not necessarily unity, but instead is often tragically conformity and blind submission and obedience? Could it be that the writer was making a value statement about unbridled greed and ambition versus purpose, intention, and meaningful living, or unbridled greed and ambition versus rhythm and balance, relationships and balance, and an embracing of and attending to the multitude of facets of life? As I recently shared with Kim Creddick not too long ago, reviewing this story again during this time of sheltering in place in our individual separate corners of the world due to the threats of the coronavirus, it seems that the beginning of humanity, the early days of humanity, and modern USA just might have some things in common. Or at the very least, they are mirrored images of each other. Think about it. It seems from this story that early humanity embraced and utilized their sameness and conformity as an edge for limitless achievements and developments. There was no end to what they could do, and by golly, they were going to do every bit of it. And here in the USA, post-colonial and postmodern USA, we just ignore difference. We seek to eliminate difference in order to force conformity and sameness for the same purpose of unbridled greed and capitalism, all under the guise of industrialism, economic stability, technological advancements, all under the guise of, I need to provide for my family. I have deadlines to meet. I have failed if I don't get all A's for my courses. I have so many emails to keep up with or just try to catch up with. We as a society, my siblings, are so fixated on what we call productivity and busyness till we actually take pride in the more appointments we have on our calendar. We are so fixated on busyness till we as a society value A types over B and C types. We value science degrees over liberal arts degrees. And in some places, we value athletic prowess over academic excellence. And in other places, it's the exact opposite, yet all in the name of unnecessary productivity and busyness. Now, with that being said, of course, some of our ambition and achievements are a good thing, like the advancement of medicine and surgical procedures. I am in awe on a daily basis of how fast we can go in and have surgery and be home. The things that we used to be in the hospital with for weeks, we now are home within 24 and 48 hours. Achievements like technological advancements, platforms such as Zoom, of course. Some of our ambition is good. However, The problem is we, particularly here in the USA, we never get enough. We always want more. We always want bigger. Why is it some of us are in 5, 6, 7 bedroom homes? It's beyond me, and it's just 2 or 3 of us living in the home. We see television shows of these long dining room tables, and it's only 2 people sitting at the table. Why is it so important for our athletes to make millions and millions of dollars, money that they cannot spend while they are still here, while there's another part of the world or the country that is in grave poverty? We always want bigger. We are never satisfied with what we have, even at the risk of our relationships, at the risk of our family, our health, and holistic wellness, and the health of the environment. My siblings, we need to be set free from unnecessary busyness. So could it be that this is a story designed to encourage moderation? Could it be that it wasn't God who scattered them, but rather it was God who nudged them to use this time of separation and change, no matter what it was caused by, to rethink their lives, their ways of being, to think about what is really important, to reconnect with the gift of quiet and stillness, to attend to our health, to spend time with family and friends, both those who are close and those who are far away. You know, much like what COVID has done for us in 2020. While, as Mary said earlier, we grieve the multitude of persons, traditions, and normalities that we have lost in the last 4 months. We pray for those who are struggling and suffering during this time of the coronavirus. Yet, I invite us to embrace the one gift that has come to us in this season, the gift of R&B, freedom from busyness. Now, some of you may be wondering, what in the world is R&B? And you may be thinking that I'm referring to rhythm and blues, but no, not rhythm and blues today, though rhythm and blues is a beautiful thing. I grew up listening to and falling in love with rhythm and blues, Aretha Franklin, Marvin Gaye, Luther Vandross, Patti LaBelle. Yes, I love rhythm and blues. But today R&B is about finding rhythm and balance that is life-giving and life-affirming. Today, R&B is about nurturing relationships with balance, boundaries, and love.